Welcome back everyone to another Coach Blaker's video. This is going to be a Challenger Yone game. They were curious on how they could have ended this game quicker. It was a very long game. They did end up winning, but it was a longer game than usual, especially for a Challenger game. So we're going to be going over this, and we're going to be seeing how we could have ended the game a little bit quicker than it was. Now, before we get started, of course, if you guys haven't ever been coached by me, haven't ever been coached? Is that even the right way? If you guys have never been coached by me, coachblanket.com is where you want to go. There is a code to give you a discount for first-time students only. Make sure to take advantage of that because that is not always going to be there. Again, coachblanket.com. If you want to improve your play, if you want to be better, if you want to reach your ranked goals before the end of the season, that's where you want to go. And remember, first-time students do get a discount. And like I said, use it before it's gone. Now let's get started. So, we're Yone into Vayne, a very pain matchup, especially because she has Ghost. So, the bright side, you know, if you get on her, she's pretty much dead. The downside is that if she kites you away, you're not going to, like, if she kites your initial engage, then, you know, you're probably not going to be able to get away nor catch her. So, this is going to be a really tricky matchup. It's based off of just kind of being able to catch her out. Now, because it's a ranged matchup, you kind of have no priority in this. You're just going to be, you know, zone back, pretty much what you're doing right now. Not much you could do. You just sit in, chilling. You're waiting for a little bit of help. Talia comes in. You don't have your Q, so this really wasn't a solid gank just because you don't have your Q. Now, the initial gank, you know, it wasn't going to lead to a kill. I think, she had Q and she had E, and you already knew it wasn't going to lead to a kill, so it was very smart on you to not really overcommit to that gank. Because she was roaming, she had nothing else to do. She was using her timer, her roam timer, her turn, basically, is what we call it. She was using her turn after she shoved to come help you, but knowing that you can't really capitalize on it, you didn't, so that was good. I would like to see that you ping the Talia that you don't have Q, because maybe she could have used that roam turn to go bot lane instead of top lane. Or she could have like went in and warded, you know, anything. But that's just something very small. There it is. As I said, once you get on her, she's done. Very good job. You can keep the wave frozen. Yep. You already know. It's funny whenever I look at VODs from challengers or I coach challenger players, it's like all the little simple stuff they just know. So it's like funny to just coach them and just like not have to say like, oh yeah, you can freeze it here. You don't really have to back here. You have TP. Like they just kind of know. So it's kind of nice to just skim past the simple stuff. All right, pretty much doing the same thing. Again, it's just a really boring laning phase. Again, get on top of her. She's dead. I was going to say shove it in. You can't get a plate. No need to stay. Perfect. I'm telling you. I love watching Challenger games. Coaching challengers and doing their VODs, man. Oof. It's like, it's good. It's good. Because people don't really notice there's a big difference between like high elo and low elo until like someone points it out. And it's pretty nuts, honestly. All right, back in a similar situation. I don't know if I like that ward over that wall, considering, you know, you're not really safe. Yeah, they can use Blast Plant, but I would just like for you to eat over the wall with the Blast Plant and then put the ward maybe like right there, right here. That way you would see him walk. Or if you had enough time, you could have gone a little bit deeper and put the ward right here. Not only does this help you, but this also helps your team, right? So, you know, just kind of think about where you want to place your wards. I know the initial thing was for the Blast Plant, but you could have, you know, just blew it up and actually had a better ward for your team, not just for you. But little simple thing there. I'll just write that down, though. I'll say, have your ward placement be more impactful. Really think about if you can ward for the team, not just for you. Something pretty big that not a lot of people do, just because solo queue is such a selfish place. Not saying the player, you know, has a selfish like attitude or anything like that, but I'm just saying like you don't usually think to do things for your team, but it's very useful if you could. All right. Again, just chilling. Like I said, pretty easy for you to kill her if you can get on top of her, but if she decides to, exactly, if you fail the initial engage like that, she will be able to kite you out, and especially because she has Ghost, she can just chase you down. So you have to be very cautious here, because she could probably just turn and kill you at this point. If you use Q and miss without your E, she just Ghost on you and kill you. Nice, you hit it, beautiful. Again, that's just kind of how this match plays out. You know, if you can get on top of her, you get the kill. If you can't, she could probably kite you down. Viego comes in, overstayed. It happens. Did we notice that that was going to happen, though? Yeah, you see, like, although this ward's going to expire, imagine if we had this ward right here. Did Viego walk over this? Yeah, so you would have known he was topside if you put the ward right here. Right? So, or if you would have put it right there, like I said before. So again, you know, it would have been way easier to just have the ward be more impactful, either right here, so you can, you know, you blow up the plant and then you can see him walk through, rather than have it blind like it just happened, or here, so you can see exactly what the pathing is, not just for you, but for the jungler, for your bot lane, for your mid laner. Challenger players easily can use the fact that they know where the jungler is going to path. So this wasn't even just like I overstayed, it was more of like I just didn't ward properly, and it could have saved me. Nothing you could have done, obviously, so... But it just sucks we gave the shutdown for something so simple, something so minor. Nice. Just kind of a rinse and repeat of, like, if I can get on her, I can get on her. If I can't, I can't. Nice. Beautiful. Good use of doing Krugs. Missed the initial engage, but you're so strong at this point, it doesn't matter. You kind of just run her down like Master Yi. That's kind of the OP part about Yone. All right, so if we check the scoreboard here, we notice that our mid laner is 0-4. I don't know why, but Talia's never do well. Ever, no matter what elo it is. Your Sivir's doing all right, but your Sona, you know, not doing too hot. Their team is pretty massive. So with this state right here, grouping for this drag isn't necessarily the... I don't really want to say it's the wrong play. But the thing is, like... Okay. I was going to say. Okay, you just cleaned it. Okay, because I was going to say, like, if that didn't happen, and let's say they were just ready to, like, fight, the problem is you're the only one fed on your team. So in this case, you have to play it extremely well. Now, because you're challenger, obviously, you know, you should be able to play it properly, but it's just a risk you don't have to take when you can continue to just pressure top. You know what I'm saying? So it was a very good cleanup because you noticed that they were fighting and you just TP'd in. But if this was everybody was healthy and we're just having this initial fight, we're good to go. Oh, also, I didn't even notice that Vayne used a teleport. Never mind. Even if you did group, you were in the right because you'd be able to win. I thought she still had teleport. My bad. Okay, good call. Whether or not they were full HP, this was a good call. My bad. I didn't like pay attention to the sums. But if she did have teleport, she would have teleported in. Although Vayne is one of those champions that, like, you know, is very, very weak early. She still does that true damage. And like I said, there's a potential for you to misplay, especially with a champion that mechanical. We just know that, you know, Yone takes a lot of mechanics. And there's a lot of room for error with a team like that. And so for you to be the only person that your team can rely on during that particular fight, if it was a 5v5, full HP, you know, like I said, if you make one mistake, you kind of just lose the fight there. Okay, we come down here. Kind of like that. You see how he was able to just really chunky like that, considering that you're higher level than him? Like, imagine that was a 5v5 and we accidentally missed, right? And like I said, it would have just been safer not to participate. But it was a really good teleport there. All right. Did this tank Yone build is so busted. I don't know why so many fighters like building tank, man. Opted to just ult over the wall. Good call. You're continuing the pressure and push bot. You continue. I was gonna say there's no reason for you to stop. We see where everybody is. Perfect. You could probably just dive the. Perfect. Like literally everything is just textbook. Perfect. Perfect. Like that's what I would expect. We knew where everybody was. You're able to just dive the Vayne because, you know, she's really, really far behind. And you know you're not going to get punished for it. Was that a mechanical misplay? What even happened? Oh, yeah, you just missed. Happens. I mean, there's really no reason to go for that. It was just kind of a Yone thing. You know, being aggressive. Luckily, they were able to get it though. The return kill. Okay, kind of the same thing. If we press tab here and we look, it's kind of similar, right? You're pretty much all the gold. I mean, Silver's doing well too. Pretty good farm, a lot of kills. But at the end of the day, again, like they are technically still stronger than us. Because they have more gold. Their gold is also spread across the team, not just on 2 people like your team is. So you have to be very careful on the engagements that you choose to have. We're coming up top because we know that Baron's up. I would have liked for you to continue to push bot to pressure so that we're not forced to have a 5v5. Even in Challenger, team fights is not the play, right? Team fights, everybody's expected to play their part, and it's very hard, especially because people don't usually get the opportunity to always practice a 5v5 scenario, because not every game allows for a 5v5 scenario. And we're all human, we make errors. So I would have liked to see that you pressure bottom and then just TP if needed. That way someone has to match you. Then you just be here because this could be scary. You guys could lose to the Baron, you guys could die when you could have, just been getting your gold bottom and causing them to rotate and then teleport if you're needed. Okay, so they did get Baron. We did get some kills though. I like that we're denying the CS from the jungler. Very, very good. So I want to see you do that more. I've noticed you don't really do that too often. And so I want to see you use your teleports. I want you to have more macro focus when using your teleport. What I mean by that, I want more plays to be set up because you have teleport. Now, the initial TP that you did when you were already walking down, you weren't even going to use that as an opportunity to make a teleport play, right? You were just already going to be there. Now, we do have to understand there is a channel time before you get to the fight, so we'd have to teleport a little bit more, early so that you're not arriving to the fight late. But again, you have TP, yet we're choosing to just always be there, right? So I want to see you kind of use your TP more with a little bit more macro focus. I want to see you pressure more side lanes and then TP to the fight. When your team's all winning, it's a different story. I mean, I'm not saying your team's like quote unquote losing, I guess you could say, but it's just more of like there's a lot of risky plays, that you could just be not being part of. Yeah, something like that. You see how you just teleport in and save the day? Like, I'd rather you have the pressure so that it breaks up their formation as a team and they don't have to have a 5v5. I'm not doubting your ability to win a team fight, but I'm just saying, like I said, we're all human. If you have a 5v5 and because your champion is so mechanical, if you make any mistakes, it will cost the fight. And then obviously you have to rely on your teams as well. Very good ult. In a sense where you don't have TP, it's a different story, right? Like, obviously, side landing is a little bit awkward. But if you do have your teleport, I would like to see you use that more to come save the day. Rather than always grouping and then, like, kind of not using the teleport. Okay, so now let's get to the reason why this game took so long to end. Okay, you're pushing down mid, you're getting ready to rotate, I'm pretty sure. No, you're not rotating. Okay, do you just like suicide here? I like what you're doing. You're keeping pressure mid. You just don't like all in. Okay, perfect. Okay, your team's kind of fighting over there. You're still causing pressure. So this part, I don't really like as well. The fact that you have more presence on your team than Vayne does. So Vayne sitting here is not equal to you sitting here. Does that make sense? So like, let's just say you have 1K, right? Vayne is like 500. So you sitting here doesn't equal the same, right? I'd rather you be over there and you make up for the fact, you're one extra champion, so to speak, that equals her, and then we fight like that, then you sit with her. Because you sitting with her is actually what she wants, because you don't have to be the fed player in the team fight, and their team can win the fight as they are right now. So that's what I would like to have seen there. I'm glad you're able to get the kill, though. She didn't have to die to you there. She just griefed. She could have, like, hard won that, right? Like, she really didn't have to die to you at that particular point. There was no reason for her to be up. She could have waited for you to dive, continue backwards, and problem solved, right? So, if she would have played this realistically well, we would have lost out on a ton because of the way that you played that. And she was sitting mid with you. Ooh, that was close. Alright, go into Elder Dragon. Try to make a play. Got killed for it, unfortunately. And that's what I'm talking about, right? The misplay causes deaths. It's not because you suck. It's not because, you know, it's not because of anything like that. It's just, we're human, we make mistakes, and with a champ like that, if you do make a mistake, it could throw a fight. Which is why, you know, thinking with your using macro more than your mechanics when it gets to a certain point in the game is very, very crucial. Right, doing the right play, even if it's not fancy and crazy, is better than doing the fancy play and dying for it. So now we're forced to have a really, really uneven, no comment. Really uneven Elder Dragon. This could have been really, really bad, and the reason why we had to fight that was uneven was because of what we did earlier, which we didn't have to do. Right? You see where I'm coming from? So, good steal though. Good steal, for sure, for sure. Pog. Now your team's fighting without you. You're starting to come in TP. This is what I would want to see. It took 34 minutes, but this is what I would want to see. Good teleporting. I mean, it didn't do anything, but good teleporting. Okay. Little mechanical misplay again. We really, really need to be able to position better in these fights. I always explain, think of yourself, especially a champ like this one. Think of yourself as a ball, right? If someone were to throw a ball at you and you were looking dead at them, you would either catch the ball or you would move, right? If someone were to throw it on the side of you or behind you, you'd probably get hit by the ball, right? So let's think about this here. If you were the ball and you were not to come from the front, think about how this fight could have been a little bit different. Right? Imagine maybe we were over here and then we seen Vayne and we kept Vayne out of the fight. Just something else than coming in from the front. So, when dealing with team fights, try to come in from the sides or from the back. Very, very important. It's huge. It's huge. Just the angle of which you come in as a champ like that can dictate if you win or lose a fight. Okay. You just kind of running with your team, which is expected this late in the game. Perfect. So you are full build. I would like to see you not take CS so much. Right? You have two champions that still need to get their build. You have Sona. Now, obviously, she's not going to be last hitting. Well, let me be honest with you. But you have your Poppy that could be getting the gold as well. So, you know, you're already full build. You don't need to continue to farm. If Poppy is around you, just give it to her if you can. I know it's something so small and so minute, but it is something that can help a lot, especially because sometimes you do get fed first. You could get full build first and your whole entire team's not done yet. And if you continue to push waves and take CS instead of telling them where to go, it's bad. Again, another situation where we could have been in a different spot than where we are right now. You know, maybe we could have been over here, right? Maybe we could have been, oops, moving the whole entire screen. I'm trolling. Maybe we could have been right there and we could just eat over the wall. Maybe we could have been sitting back here behind the wall so they can't see you. Maybe we could have been sitting here behind the wall in the fog so they can't see you. And then you just come up like that, right? There's a lot of angles we could have been coming out from to make this fight better. I mean, if they face check, they face check, but I'm just saying, you know. Like, that's something we really got to think about. A little bit of mechanical misplay, and it cost that fight. And also, like I said, just the angle that you go in, right? You got to make sure that you're going in from a different angle. I know I'm kind of sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but it's super, 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 super important. It looks like it's just kind of the same thing over and over again until somebody wins. This is what we call a fiesta. Right. Yeah, it's pretty much it. You see, so you only had TP. You only TP 2 times for a macro play in a 45-minute game, right? Like that. I want to see more of that. If we were more macro focused, this game would have ended a long time ago. We were more focused either on kills or we were more focused on styling. You know, I know Yone is that type of champ though, where you do try to. It's like Yasuo syndrome, Lee Sin syndrome, Viego syndrome, like that type of champion. I get it, but we are challenger, so we should be able to quell that inner Yone or Yasuo, and win our games. So the reason this game, took so long, in my opinion, is because there was a lot less focus on macro and a lot more focus on just kind of getting kills, or it just wasn't the right macro choice in the first place. For an example, how we want to walk in group with our team a lot, instead of just kind of hanging out with Vayne, diving her, forcing them to come with us, and if your team needs you, you TP. Because your team wasn't really ahead this game, you could have allowed them to get ahead a lot easier by just distracting the whole entire time. Not saying don't group, obviously, if you don't have teleport, group, but if you do have teleport, use it. Use the advantage of having that teleport, right? Because they're going to come get you, or they're not going to come get you, and you just dive her over and over and over again and take towers. You're not needed to be there. So, I would like to see you use more of the fact that you have a lead to push more objectives other than just always be with your team. As far as the play here, like I said, we could have just been with our team in that play in the first place and won that fight together. We could have won the game there. So there's the two major things that I noticed in the gameplay that I think we could have made the game a lot shorter. But yeah. Also, I noticed there's a little black bar right there. I'm sorry. I had to minimize my screen because it was doing weird stuff. But yeah, so we're gonna write homework. A little more focus on macro, on just teleport place. I'll just say teleport place. And I do want to see more. Oh, I already wrote it, so I can just put 2. I'm trolling. And I want to see you kind of approach fights differently than just straight up front to back over and over and over again. Okay. Again, if you guys are interested in coaching, CoachBlicker.com is where you want to go. If you're the first time student, you do get a discount. CoachBlicker.com is where you want to go. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, late. Have a good rest of your day or night, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for approaching this like a coach.